Oh, hello. Good day, everyone. Today we have February 3rd, 2023, and episode 493 of 413 Sports Talk is here. What a great night for high school basketball, and we will soon go over all the scores as well as NBA and NHL stuff we have on tap as well, I believe. We're a couple pages, I believe, might be missing at the end, but for some reason I can't tell now. Either way, just bear with me. NFL player EVALS continue. Today is Rush the Passer. We have now made it to the defensive side of the ball, and we start with the pass rushers today. Let this episode begin now. We'll start with Western Mass Sports here. Boys basketball, number 1, Springfield International Charter over Bay State Academy, 85-37. Number 3, Pope Francis, 68. Amherst, 56. Number 9, South Hadley, 57. Number 35, Ware, 21. Mayhar, 47. Lennox, 46. Number 10, Smith Academy, 72. Franklin Tech, 37. And number 11, Pioneer Valley, 59. Number 18, Greenfield, 52. That's it for boys basketball. We are going to continue with the girls side of things. A lot of games here, so just prepare for it. Number 27, Mount Everett, 57. Lee, 42. Number 35, Pathfinder, 47. Duggan, 33. Number 37, Bay State Academy. Shout out to them Bulls, upsetting number 11, Commerce, 37-29. Yeah. St. Mary's over Side Tech, 55-45. Number 25, Belchertown, 58. Granby, 26. Number 17, South Hadley, 41. Drury, 45. Taconic, 44. West Springfield, 29. Pittsfield, 56. Chicopee Comp, 30. Number 21, Minnechaug, 40. Westfield, 33. Number 1, Central over number 14, Holyoke, 69-46. Number 10, Chicopee over East Long Meadow, 64-30. I've got number 8, Hoosick beating Munson, 47-40. And number 12, Long Meadow over number 28, Northampton, 43-35. That's it for Western Mass Sports. Check back tomorrow for more scores, updates, news. We got it all. And now we are into the NFL player EVALS top 10 pass rushers. Here I go. Edge rushers. Now this is combination. Guys can play defensive end. Guys who can play the outside linebacker. It's mostly guys that are just the outside linebackers. And we start with Tuli Pulotu. I'm fucking that name up, I'm sorry. He's out of USC. Tuli was the Pac-12 Defensive Player of the Year and finalist for the Chuck Bednarik Award after putting up 21 tackles for loss, 12.5 sacks in 2022. And for the first time this season, he cracks my top 10 list at the edge position in this 2023 NFL Draft, which is coming up in a couple months. And here's what I go on to say about him. At 6'4", 290 pounds, Tuli has played all over the line, every spot, but his most translatable pass rushing reps occur on the edge. And there he has more space to wind up and attack, and he has a perplexing mix of burst, flexibility, hand power, and closing ability. And he uses those tools very well, and I think they will bode him good going down the road for his career. I think this guy's going to be somebody we'll be getting used to his name. Number 9, Braylon Trice out of Washington. The Washington Huskies is a very interesting team. A lot of kids have been coming out of that school in the NFL Draft the last couple of years. Most recently, Kansas City Chiefs rookie and Super Bowl champion cornerback Trent McDuffie, just to name a few. So Tuli wasn't the only Pac-12 defender to punish opposing tackles this year. Farther north, Braylon Trice wreaked havoc for the Washington Huskies against his opponents, accruing 8 sacks, 11 tackles for a loss in a breakout year. Trice hasn't declared for the draft, so you're probably like, yeah, well, that's this guy on your list. Hear me out. If he does, he's assuredly an early round candidate. 6'4", 270. He's incredibly explosive and powerful. Don't let that weight fool you, because the speed that he uses is quick. He's very agile. This guy is definitely something different than what you would expect from the size standpoint. He's gonna send tackles lurching with violent hand strikes. Got a lot of good moves, and this guy also has a relentless motor. Sitting here at number 9, he could potentially go third round, day 2, early or late, day 2. Number 8, no bias here because I'm an Auburn Tiger Gear fan. We have Derek Hall. So it's a sign of a strong edge rusher class, in my opinion, when a prospect like Derek Hall comes in like at number 8. This guy potentially first round talent. I think he's a top 50. I think he's a top 50 draft prospect at the very least. Definitely shows first round talent. He gets caught in the numbers game, but he's a phenomenal player, and I think numbers don't do his tape any justice. That's what I mean by that. It's not a one-to-one comparison, but he does have a unique combination of natural leverage and proportional length. Similar to second-round pick Arik Armstead. Not Arik Armstead, but kind of like that kind of build too. But I had down here Arnold Ebiketie last year as a guy I was really high on from the 2022 NFL Draft. He's not as flexible as Ebiketie's shown on his some of his rookie tape, but he's a powerful rusher with good hands, a great energy, closing speed, especially when getting to the pocket, getting to that quarterback. Not really a guy that is going to fit in most people's minds as being drafted in the first round, but not somebody who's gonna be cut from the team around when the preseason is over. Definitely not. We have, what are we on? Number 7, Felix Anudike Uzoma. Kansas State. Only watched 2 videos on him, so bear with me. With 19.5 sacks, 25.5 tackles for loss. Over the past 2 seasons, Felix is one of the most prolific pass rushing threats on the collegiate stage. Like, literally. Soon enough, he'll get to show off what he can do in the NFL. And this is a guy whose name you do not want to forget. But actually, it doesn't matter if you don't memorize it or remember him, because you'll soon hear about him. He isn't an elite size or power threat, but he has enough hand strength to work with, honestly. Beyond that, he's explosive, very twitchy, a rusher who's also, he has, what's the word I'm thinking of? Oh, good bend. Yeah. He can string together hand moves and nearly beat just about every time the inside guys, I think he is a guy that might go a little later. This is not what you look for size-wise, but his combination of skills will definitely earn him a role in the NFL. Now we're getting hotter. We're getting a little hotter here. Number 6, B.J. Ojulari out of LSU. If you're an odd man front team that craves finesse rushers off the edge, from wider alignments, obviously, you'll be infatuated with LSU's B.J. Ojulari. While the sack production has not been something that's like eye-popping, nothing to write home about really. He's a consistent guy who generates pressure, and if you don't get to the quarterback all the time, that's okay. Maybe not as much as we want you. That's a problem. But if you can pressure the quarterback consistently, I think that's something that is definitely worth having on your football team. Very athletic guy, 6'3", 244. Ojulari lacks the elite size and length, so you're most likely going to see him playing a weak side linebacker, stuff like that. And sometimes him being that size impacts play strength, especially when defending the run. close quarters when those guards and stuff like that start to pull and head upfield, he's fucked. But few rushers are smooth, flexible, and quick when the line tries to stack. Or in stack movements, not when the line tries to stack. My apologies. Al-Jalari's leverage, functional power, I like that too. But I also could see him playing a role like Bud Dupree, something like that. There was another safety who played for the Cardinals. I think it's like number 20 or something like that, a couple years back. Maybe even a little more than a couple years back. And he was good. I forgot his name. Oh, I don't want to say D Ford. I think D Ford is a Steeler. But you get what I'm saying. If he's like that kind of player that could be a linebacker, but could be a safety too. He's all right in pass coverage. But yeah, he just kind of reminds me of those guys. Fits that kind of mold. Number 5, Jared Verse out of Florida State. This is where the list starts to get a little hairy. People will get offended and pissed off. Oops, it's the same thing. Jared Verse breaks into my top 5 on this list for the first time. As you know, I'm going to do another mock and stuff like that after I do the player evaluations. You can argue that I didn't make this move quick enough as far as like he should be probably top 3. I won't argue with you. It doesn't matter. The tape that I've seen, everything that I've seen on YouTube, you can go back and look at for Jared Verse. I think he could honestly be a sleeper first round pick. Yeah, I said it. He could be a sleeper first round pick. He logged 7.5 sacks, 34.5 tackles for loss in his one season at Florida. As you know, he transferred from Albany to go to Florida State. In doing so, he showed off an incredibly complete skill set. He's 6'4", 249 pounds. He's explosive, twitch, bend, length, pursuit speed, active hand usage. All the components of a first-round pick, he has them. Now as we go on to number 4, one of my favorite guys on the list, Isaiah Foskey out of Notre Dame. So I saw him a lot. He played a lot on TV. With 20.5 sacks, 23 tackles for loss over the past 2 seasons. The production profile is no means an issue with Isaiah Foskey here. This guy is a first rounder. At 6'5", 260, the high-end combination of explosiveness, length, like whatever you need in a pass rusher, this is another guy who has it all. Despite his production in 2022, people say that he regressed a bit with the hand usage, and he has never had the necessary hip flexibility to turn the corner consistently. But he's flashed brilliance with his hands before, and those flashes are enough to bank on his potential. Number 3, Tyree Wilson out of Texas Tech. They had a great year, and you saw him a lot on the national television as well. Power is a trait of its own, but is largely derived from a culmination of other traits. Prospects use burst, length, and leverage to generate composite power, and no prospect in this class, or the last 5 classes for that matter, has the power capacity that Tyree Wilson does. I understand that's a big, huge thing to put on his back. But that's the way I see it with him, especially when you break down his film. Stuff on YouTube as well. 6'6", 275, with arms nearly 37 inches long. He truly looks like he was built, like he's Frankenstein. He was built in a lab somewhere. His burst, length, frame, density, and aggression. He's going to throw offensive tackles back. Those David Bakhtiaris. Other guys like that might be a little shorter at the offensive tackle position. Interior blockers are going down as well with resounding brutality. His traits alone make him early of a first-round consideration. Production, I would say so too. Might be looking at the next Aaron Donald. I'm going to say that now. Number 2, Myles Murphy out of Clemson. So you guys might know who my number 1 rusher is now. If you know Myles Murphy came at number 2. It says something that on such a talented defensive line like Clemson's, Myles Murphy was still able to accumulate 18.5 sacks, 36 tackles for loss across 3 years. Since his true freshman campaign, honestly, Murphy has been the first-round pick in waiting. And I saw the talent right away. Nothing's changed. 6'6", 275 pounds. He's an outlier athlete with phenomenal bursts. What else could we say? Foot speed is good too for somebody that big. And he can leverage the burst with his frame density into awesome power at the point of attack. He knows how to use his body very well. This year he showed his growth with hand usage. Didn't really have that in 2021. Or 2022, I'm sorry. Providing excitement for whoever decides to grab him in the future. And the number one guy on my list is undoubtedly Will Anderson Jr. out of Alabama. Go Crimson Tide. Here we go. The top 4 remains the same as my latest list of pass rushers are here, 2023, ready for the draft. That ultimately means that this guy holds down the top spot at the position, one of the top spots on the draft board overall. His production, he had it. He's not an injury risk. He's got moves. He's fast. Gets to the quarterback a lot. And I believe that he is going to... And there are other guys on the list that probably have a chance for better have a better NFL trajectory than him. But he did tear his knee or something. He did tear his knee a few years ago, but he's just undoubtedly the number one guy. Stats don't lie. Here are my honorable mentions. Gabe Hall out of Baylor. Kobe Wooden out of Auburn. That was my guy right there. Too bad he didn't get enough playing time in my eyes, but I had to coach. Tyler Davis out of Clemson. Byron Young out of Alabama. Tyler Lacey out of Oklahoma State. It's like, that's a name right there. Moro Ohomo out of Texas. Keandre Coburn also out of Texas. Carl Brooks out of Bowling Green. And Devonshaw Maxwell out of Chattanooga. And that is it for my top 10 pass rushers. We're on the defensive side, and it looks like we are at the end of this episode. It's the end of episode 493 of 493 Sports Talk. Raheem Escalade, hope you are all well. Hope you enjoyed this one. Tomorrow we will break down another defensive unit, and hope you guys like this series. Let me know what's going on with it as well. Peace. Have a good one.